Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. I am so excited about today's video. It is all about the ones that have gotten away, specifically the makeup that has gotten away. And I'm doing this video in collaboration with my good friend Iwana. She is also known as Chic Geek. I'm sure most of you know her and are subscribed to her already, but if you're not, I will have her channel linked down below so you could check her out. Iwana and I go back to before either of us had YouTube channels, and we were Instagram friends. We met through Instagram several years ago and we supported each other over there. And I think she started her channel a little bit before me and I was right behind her. So we have been on a very similar pathway when it comes to social media. And trust me, if you like me, you are going to love her. So please go click the link down below to her channel and check it out. You'll thank me later. I'm sure other people have done similar videos like this before, but this came about very organically. I posted my Becca and Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop palette on my Instagram a couple weeks ago, and she commented about the palette and how she wishes she could have bought it, and then the conversation turned into, hey, we should do a collab about the ones that got away, and she was all for it. So that's how this video came to be. So we each made a list of the makeup items that are no longer available, that we cannot get anymore, that we wish we would have bought when we could have. My list actually has 12 items on it, which is kind of surprising because in general, up until I started my low buy, if there was a makeup product I wanted, I bought it. I didn't really hold back. So it's amazing I have anything on this list, let alone the fact that I was able to find 12 items on this list. I remember exactly what the first one that got away was, and it was way back when I first started watching YouTube videos. Everybody was talking about one highlighter in particular. It was from Dior. It was the Amber Diamond highlighter from Dior. I will have a picture up here so that you could see it. And every YouTuber raved about that highlighter, and it was completely out of my reach financially at the time. I think it might have still been available for sale directly through Dior or maybe Sephora. But at some point later on, I did have the financial means to purchase it, and it was no longer available except for like Amazon or eBay, but then the price had skyrocketed even higher and was like double that, and I just thought, nope, we're gonna call it a loss. But that was back in like 2009, 2010 that I started watching YouTube videos, and that was like the luxury highlighter that everybody raved about, and that was the first one that got away from me. I remember it well. The next 11 are in no particular order. I can't remember which one came before the next, so I'll just go down the list, but I definitely remember what the most recent one that got away is, and that one I'll talk about last. The next two items on my list are both Morphe palettes, and the first one is the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette. I wanted that palette so bad. It sold out so fast. Who remembers when that palette came about? Oh, it was a beautiful palette. At the time, the only thing that consoled me about missing out on that palette was the fact that each one of those eyeshadows were still sold individually, and you could, in theory, buy all of those shadows individually and have the palette without it actually being part of the palette. You'd be paying more, but you could still get those exact same eyeshadows that were part of the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette. But of course, I dragged my heels, and recently, on a whim, I checked the Morphe website, and they're not selling single eyeshadows anymore. They're done with that. They're only selling their palettes. I think they have like 2 or 3 single eyeshadows. You could not recreate the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette today if you wanted to. Not that you necessarily would, but I wish I would have just gotten that palette at the time. I missed out. The next one, of course, is the Morphe times Kathleen Lights collaboration palette. That palette was beautiful. Right around the time that that palette dropped, I was really getting into Kathleen Lights. I mean, I just kind of discovered her as a channel around that same time, and I was really becoming a huge fangirl of Kathleen. And so yeah, I really wanted that palette, but I missed out on that one as well. Let's move on to Urban Decay. There's a couple of Urban Decay pieces that I missed out on. The first one is the Electric palette. Oh my gosh, the electric palette was definitely one that I missed out on. And the funny thing is that at the time, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I remember specifically looking at it and thinking that it was really impractical and that most people aren't gonna wear those colors from day to day. And at the time, most people were not wearing those colors from day to day. It's amazing to see how far women and the beauty community has pushed the limits, because those colors were not colors that people wore from day to day, and now I would say that they are. But at some point along the line, I did realize that I missed out on that palette and I should have picked it up, and I regret it now. And you know, using makeup that's more than a few years old or has been discontinued or was limited edition in the first place is kind of a no-no on social media. I mean, most people who produce beauty videos do not use makeup in any of those categories. They don't use old makeup, they don't use limited edition makeup, they don't use makeup that has been discontinued. And yet, even today, people are still doing tutorials with the electric palette. So that's kind of cool that that palette has broken all the rules for beauty gurus and that they're still talking about that palette even today. I wish I would have gotten it at the time. The other Urban Decay item is one of the Vice palettes, specifically Vice 4. I really slept on the Vice palettes. They kind of came and went without me even noticing them. The Vice 4 was actually the first Urban Decay Vice palette that I even was aware of. I don't know why I didn't know about them. I guess whatever beauty people I was watching at the time weren't talking about them. But I do wish I would have gotten the Urban Decay Vice 4. I think it's a nice mix of warm and cool, neutral and colorful. And I think the Urban Decay Vice formula is definitely better than the Naked formulas, personally. I have better luck with them. All right, let's move on to MAC. I have like 4 MAC products that got away from me. The first MAC product that got away from me is actually a blush and highlighter duo. It came in the Nutcracker collection. I don't know what year that was, maybe 2015? It was a while ago. But one of the highlighters was Whisper of Guilt, and the blush was, I don't know what the blush was called, but I wish I would have gotten that duo with the blush and the Whisper of Guilt highlighter. Every time I see somebody post a picture of it on Instagram or talk about it on YouTube, my heart hurts just a little, because that one definitely got away from me. The next item came from the MAC Holiday Collection of 2017, and it was just a little single eyeshadow called Stylishly Mary. And oh my gosh, I really slept on that one. I cannot believe I missed out on that eyeshadow. It is gorgeous. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, and I'm really bummed that I did not pick that one up. I would have loved to have had it. And then, of course, the following year, in 2018, they released a highlighter called Snow Flush that's like a gigantic pan of Stylishly Mary. It was just 100 times bigger. And so I missed that too. You'd think I would have caught on and picked up Snow Flushed, but during holiday of 2018, I was gearing up to start my low buy, and I was already curbing my spending, so I missed out on that one too. Within that same collection of 2018, they released some single eyeshadows, and one was called P is for Pink, and I wish I would have snagged that one too. I would have loved to have that one, but got away. Okay, let's talk about ColourPop. I have 2 ColourPop items that got away. The first one is the original formula of the blotted lip. Before, the current blotted lips that we know came in this like liquid lipstick container with a doe foot applicator. They were originally in a stick form like a Lippy Sticks, and I wish I would have tried those. I would have loved to. I think it would have been a formula I would have really liked, and I'm bummed that I cannot purchase those anymore. They're not available on the website anywhere. They only have the blotted lips in the liquid lipstick packaging. The other ColourPop item that got away from me is a Super Shock shadow called Moonwalk. I first heard about Kat from Kitschnitch talking about this product last year sometime, and she talked about what a beautiful duochrome it was. After she talked about that Super Shock shadow and swatched it, I immediately started trying to track it down, but it was already gone. So unfortunately, I missed out on that Super Shock shadow, but I think I would have really liked to have had it. It looked beautiful. It was a duochrome. Okay, the next item that got away from me is from Besame, and Emily Noel has been raving about Besame lipsticks for years. I can't think of too many other YouTubers that rave about Besame the way Emily Noel does, but For as much good stuff as she said about those lipsticks, I was never very drawn to them because most of them are reds and they're very pigmented and bold. Like it's a bold matte red lipstick, and that's obviously just not my thing. I don't rock a bold red from day to day, and I was never that tuned into those Besame lipsticks until they came out with a trio of sheerer formula lipsticks in pink packaging. Those I really wanted, and they were on my wish list. I probably took a screenshot of them to remind myself of something I would like to buy down the road, and they're gone. I was checking the other day, they're gone. So it got away from me. It got away. I can't even remember what they're called. I think one was called Chocolate Kiss. I can't remember what the other two were called, but it was a trio of more of lipsticks that were in a sheerer formula that I felt like I would like much more than the bold pigmented matte lipsticks that they normally sell. Okay, we're down to the final item that got away from me. It's recent. It's from last holiday?
Last month?
It's from last December, I think. The December before? I don't know. It hasn't been too long. The wounds are still healing, but I am talking about the ABH Sultry palette. I really wish I would have snagged that palette, and at that point, my low buy was solidly in place. I was following rules, but I kind of wish I would have broken the rules for that palette. And I know that the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette is similar and has a lot of similarities between the ABH Sultry palette, but honestly, I much prefer the formula of the ABH shadows to Urban Decay. So I don't think I'm gonna settle for the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette. I just wish I could have gotten the Sultry palette. So that one is still hurting just a little bit. All right, guys, those are the makeup products that I missed out on, and I am regretting it big time. I wish I had those in my collection, but I don't. They got away, and I guess it's not meant to be. I am so curious to know if any of the makeup items I talked about in this video are ones that you think got away from you, or if there are other products that would have been mentioned on your list instead of the ones I'm talking about. So let me know in the comments down below what those items are that got away from you. If you're coming over from Chic Geek's channel, I hope you do consider subscribing, and I want to thank you for watching my video. And I want to thank all of you for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
What are you doing, Mom?
I'm gonna film a quick video, and then we're gonna go run some errands, and then we're gonna go to the park.
Yay! To the baseball park?
We could go to the baseball park.
Yay! Because that one is super fun.
Okay?
We're not going to do baseball.
No, there's no baseball tonight. Maybe we'll practice with Ron in the front yard for a little while when Daddy gets home. Hi guys, it's Paula, and I hope you are doing well. What am I trying to say? I should have thought of that before I started talking. I got a twitch above my eye that's like distracting me. Why is my eyeball twitching? I know it's because I drink too much coffee, but why is it twitching right now? Stop twitching. The first one is the original formula of the bra.